All right, here we are at our 1977 Sumerset. This is a 14 by 58 foot aluminum hull houseboat for sale. We're here on the beautiful fresh waters of Norris Lake, Tennessee. This slip is transferable. If anybody wants to leave it right here, they will have the opportunity to do so. And just about everything that you'll see in this video tour will remain with the boat. Current owners have purchased and moved on to their next one, so everything here now will transfer, including this patio table and chairs. If you're on the front porch, that's about 11,000 BTU tabletop patio heater, and then we've got an even embers brand new gas grill, 4-burner gas grill. It's going to transfer with this one as well. There's specs on it. And as usual, you won't hear us mention the asking price in our video tour, because those will frequently change between when we post a listing and when they're sold. So to find the current asking price, you will want to hop over to our website. Now, to make it easier for you, we will have a direct link for this one down in the video description. So all you gotta do is scroll down, look for that video description. You might have to expand the video description, and there's going to be some text in there describing the boat. And at the bottom of that will be a direct link to the listing page for this. Again, this is a 1977 Sumerset, 14 feet wide by 58 foot long aluminum hull houseboat. Here we are at our helm station. This is a single helm. We've got a standard Horizon Eclipse Plus VHF ship-to-shore radio. There's your NOAA weather band that you just heard whenever I clicked that on. We've got a Pioneer. This is a Kenwood. This is a AM, FM, USB, auxiliary input, Bluetooth, iHeart ready, Spotify ready, Pandora ready, stereo. And we've got 2 cabin speakers. We've got actually upgraded cabin speakers. We've got a pair of Kenwood cabin speakers here in the main salon area, and another set of Kenwood stereo speakers right out here on this front porch. You've got a zone switch control for these speakers. That would be this right here. You push that in if you don't want sound. You pull it down when you do want sound. So we got a pair of those up here on that covered front porch. And then here's our engine instrumentation for this one. We got a fuel gauge. Let's see, that should be the battery volts, or it might be the gauge for the alternator. Engine temp, oil pressure, tachometer, fuel gauge over here. Now this would be the original engine hour meter on this boat. It's currently showing 436.9 engine hours. Now I will tell you that engine was just repowered, and a little bit of work left to do to get that finished on the install, and we'll go over that here whenever we do make it to that engine room. So we've also got a 50-inch. This is a 50-inch Pioneer LED HD television, and that's a smart TV. It is also currently connected to DirecTV. Now that DirecTV box will go with the seller, but it does have a satellite dish on the rooftop. I'll show you that when we get there. Satellite will be staying, but if you do wish to continue the satellite TV service, you'll get some new equipment from the provider of your choice. Or if you've already have satellite at home, most of the time you can just add a room, get a new receiver box, and then bring it here. Across our living room salon area, we've got a dual reclining leather sofa, and that other Kenwood stereo speakers right here. We've got some updated flooring as well as our wall paneling. These beams here in the ceiling, this would be original. But final plank flooring throughout the boat, and again we've got newer interior wall paneling, and we've also got some dark tinted windows on this one. Those had the heat protection added and then the tint on that, so those should hold up very well. You'll see a lot of tint jobs on the houseboats. They do not seem to last, and most of the time they're not putting that heat protection in there as they do that tinting. So in our galley kitchen area, we do have an integrated Kenmore microwave, and this would be I believe that's about a 14 cubic foot electric refrigerator and freezer. Updated countertops. That's a newer sink. We've got a large stainless sink. That would be an electric 4-burner. Range top with a oven. We've got coffee maker. It's also going to be a toaster, and we've also got this Hamilton Beach toaster oven. There is a set of dishes and glassware, plates and bowls that will be transferring with this as well, including silverware, a set of pots and pans. This is a fairly move-in ready boat, with the exception of some mechanical work that's going to be left if you do want to be able to operate this like a boat. Now we've got our heating and cooling is done through these. We've got a pair of Advent RV type roof mount air conditioning units with the optional heat strips. This one is around 15,000 BTU cooling capacity. There's 2 of these. The one in the rear of the boat's going to be about 13,500 cooling capacity. Again, both with heat strips. Those would have been new in the summer of 2021, I believe it was. Yes, 2021 is when those were installed. Small little dining table and chairs also will be remaining. This that 50-inch Pioneer LED HD television, that is also on a swivel mount, so that's going to be able to kind of pull out, and you can tilt it towards your kitchen or towards your recliner sofa here. I believe we've got about 6 feet 8 inch worth of headroom here in this upper level of this one, and then we're going to step down 2 steps to our bedrooms. This is often referred to as a hall bunk layout. We've got a full-size bedroom right here in the hallway. Now originally there would have been bunk beds here, and that is why you have kind of the split in the side windows there. Current owner had selected to remove that top bunk, and this would be a full-size bed. We've got two drawers integrated underneath this full-size bed. And we've got a utility closet here. This is where we've got some of the equipment for the marine head. That is the pump for your toilet, and then we've got a Y valve. That Y valve has been closed off. Here on Norris Lake, everything must go into a waste holding tank, and that is where the open side of that Y valve is directing. And I believe we've got about a 65-gallon aluminum waste holding tank. Now, that should eventually be swapped out with a plastic waste holding tank. This one's also equipped with a pair of 64-gallon freshwater tanks. And those are the plastic tanks. Those are polypropylene. Now with the hall bunk layout, what you have is a shared bathroom that gets shared between your master stateroom and your guest stateroom. So we've got a series of doors. Show you how this works here. A lot of questions about this. This is one of the most common layouts you're going to find in all of the houseboats, in the entire houseboat market. This layout was utilized with a few variations from the 1970s through the 1990s. Not all the way through the 1990s, about early 90s. They started going to larger boat models and getting away from this. But essentially what you have here are these series of 3 doors where you can close off your bathroom. So depending on who your guests are that are joining you, you can have all 3 of these closed. And then you've got access through the master stateroom, and you've got access through your hall stateroom. And then here in our bathroom, we've got a marine head and a walk-in shower. That is a newer shower. And we've also got a newer marine head. Here's our vanity sink, integrated medicine cabinet, lighting overhead. We do have a mix of 12-volt battery-powered lighting and regular 110 lighting. It's actually this is a good example of it. So this is your 110 lighting, your regular lighting right here. This would be a battery-powered light. So that's 1 fixture, 2 switches, and 2 light bulbs. One of those is 12-volt, one is your 110. Now here in our master stateroom, we've got a queen-size bed. We've got an integrated nightstand on either side of the bed, and as you can see, there is room to go larger back here if your desire is to have a larger bed in the master stateroom. You can certainly have room. Now, there are 2 speakers back here that would have, these would be the original 1977 speakers. Those are no longer functional, but the wiring is there. And that could easily be connected into that audio system if you preferred. And here's that second new roof air conditioning unit. Again, this has the optional heat strips. That was installed in the summer of 2021. That's the 13,500 BTU capacity one. And then back here on our Samsung television, screensaver just popped up for us here. That is our 24-inch Samsung HD LED television back here in the master stateroom. That will be transferring as well. We've got integrated dresser drawers and 2 large hanging closets back here. Vacuum's going to be staying. And then over on this side. Now that's where you can see some of that 1977 vintage. Carpeted wall and Berber carpeted flooring. But again, this is that newer luxury vinyl plank flooring that has been installed. Now, behind this curtain is a patio sliding door. Originally, there would have been a small little bench built in right there that would kind of serve as a step to exit in and out that door. We're not going to use that today, and honestly, most people aren't going to use that. But we're gonna head back out and walk around the exterior. And the reason they don't use that is they're just not the easiest to climb in and out of, even when those steps were in place from the factory. Let me give you a look before we leave our interior here. Let me show you below deck here. Prop this hatch up right here, and then we've got some lighting down here. So on our elevated surface here before the step down, this is all usable storage space. We've got a dehumidifier running that's got an automatic pump that's going to empty that water overboard when it fills up. There's that aluminum waste holding tank that I referenced that does need to be swapped out with a plastic tank. There's our 2 freshwater polypropylene tanks, onboard water pump. That would be a 10-gallon electric water heater. And you can see all this other empty space is all very usable space. This is just a plywood subfloor here that is that was installed from the factory to make it these areas easier to access and easier to store things down there. So. To touch on that, that's always kind of a common item that new houseboat owners are always curious of. Lots of usable storage space on here. And bear with me here momentarily. So slide that hatch back into place there. So. All right, again, so we're gonna exit off the front porch here. We've got another access hatch right in the floor here. We do have a firewall in the cabin side of things. There's your firewall right there. So this is where a lot of your outdoor, maybe your water toys, things like that are usually dropped in. You can see we've got some life jackets down there. This foam that you see here, this area right here, Sumerset put that in the factory, and the purpose of that was just for sound dampening. Sharp family originally built these Sumerset houseboats up until the mid-90s, and that sound dampening foam dates all the way back to when they were making steel hull houseboats. They had some people complain that the waves and the water was lapping up to the front of that hull and would make some noise when it would kind of bounce off of there. And so they decided they could fix that issue, put some foam down there, and they pretty much started doing that with all of their houseboats through most of the steel hull days and into part of the aluminum hull days. In '77, they were still making both steel and aluminum boats. Most people were still building steel hull houseboats at the time, and a handful. This was one of a few aluminum boats that was built. These were all custom built, made to order boats. Now at this time they were building a fairly standard spec boat, but whoever was having it built and was given a list of options that they could pick from. So now we're back here in the engine room. As you can see, I've got the hatches raised, and then this would be the other side of that rear sliding door in that master bedroom that we referenced. So again, this is it's a newer engine block that's been installed. Now what is left here is all your accessories need to be connected up here on your belts, and hoses all hooked up. So your alternator is going to need to be added, power steering, and water pump. Now water pump is here. Actually, I believe all the pieces are here. And raise this other hatch. Now the water pump is not down there. It is actually in the interior closet. If you're looking closely, you would have noticed it. But there's your alternator and the hoses, some of the brackets here. Fuel tanks were cleaned out and fuel sending units were replaced in each of these aluminum fuel tanks back here. These are 50 gallons apiece. Got 2 of those. Now, this generator has not seen a lot of time on it. This is an 8 kW Kohler generator. Now, this also will need to have the fuel lines reconnected, and most likely carburetor is going to need to be cleaned out on, or maybe a rebuild kit put on it. You have newer batteries back here for both the generator and your engine. And we've got a small little battery tender that's maintaining your generator battery for right now. So this is a fairly clean engine room. You can see it's nice and dry down there. And again, the original engine was removed, and this one was just added recently. Just a little bit left to do in here. Before I leave our rear deck here, I'm going to show you, this is a davit right here in the corner here. This will swivel. A little electric winch is on here, and the hook is kind of covered up by that Crown Royal bag that's just preventing that cable from weathering, and that is often used to lift smaller PWCs out of the water, put them on a little cart or a dolly here on the rear deck, or really lifting anything you wanted to out of the water. It can do a small dinghy. Now the newer personal watercrafts are going to be too heavy for this, but your older ones, and actually probably even your Sea-Doo Sparks, that's a newer personal watercraft that is much lighter than some of the other larger 3-seaters. So if you were dealing with one of those Sparks, you'd probably be fine to use that davit, or you know, even some of your stand-up paddle boards, kayaks, things like that. You could use that davit to lift those on and off the rear deck here. Now you can see our transom goes to about the back of that engine hatch, and then we've got a little bit more of an extended rear deck here. There are 2 5-step swim boarding ladders. That is what these guys are right here, and these mount, or basically just go right over this rail right here, and you can essentially put those at any one of your gates. You can have one here off the side gate, you can do the same off the bow, and then of course this one back here on the stern would also be that. Again, those are just going to kind of rest over top of your rail here on either side of that gate, and that's a 5-step swim boarding ladder. Now we're going to use this ladder to go up to our upper level. Tire roof was recoated. There was a few repairs that were done, and it was all recoated in the summer of 2021. And one thing that they did was they raised all these rail feet. This is a lot of your boats you're seeing people add these. Your rail feet where these screws go in is usually the source for a roof leak, and by simply raising those, putting them on their own block, fiberglassing that in, and putting your screws down into that is really going to cut down on the potential for moisture intrusion all the way through your roof on these houseboats. You can also see, if you look closely, we've got a lip that's been added around all of our or the 2 roof air units as well. Now this wiring right here would be for your rear anchor light, the nav light at night. So that wiring's there, but there's no nav light installed. And they've done that with all of these rail feet, and all your ladders have been raised as well. So they did a nice job with that. So VHF antennas up here, and this is also where that Winegard carry-out G2 satellite dish is mounted for your television. Again, if you do wish to continue satellite service, it is currently set up for DirecTV. So again, this spot is transferable. We're looking straight across the channel here, and that would be the Chuck Swan Wildlife Area here on Norris Lake. And before I leave the rooftop, there was one of these little rail feet has a little slight crack in this coating right here, and that does need to be sealed up just to prevent that particular foot there from getting moisture intrusion. We got a little bit of wear on this rail canvas here, and it actually kind of patched up an area right here. There's probably a small little tear in that. They've kind of patched it just to prevent that from getting worse, is all they've really done with that. For the most part, the canvas is in good shape, except for a few of those exceptions there. Roof does appear to be nice and solid. Again, any questions you have about this, and to view the current asking price, we will again direct you over to our website. Again, for your convenience, there will be a direct link to the listing. If you use that link, you're going to get right to the listing page for this one. You're going to see the asking price. You'll see our contact information. You'll be able to reach out to us by phone, by text, and by email. And we do like to remind people, when you do send us an email, keep an eye in your email inbox for our reply. If you have not gotten one within one business day, please check your spam folder. We're generally very quick about getting email replies back out. And if you call us on the phone and you miss us, you get our voicemail. And if you want to return phone call, please make sure you leave us a message. Leave us a detailed message. Let us know which listing you're looking at, what questions you have. We're very frequently in areas without cell phone reception around beautiful Norris Lake. So if you don't leave a message, we will not know that you called. Now, while I was still here on the exterior, I do want to point out a few things to you. We do have newer stripes here. These look great. You got a little bit of wear in some of this original white on your wall sides. These areas at a minimum need to be kept waxed probably twice annually, and there are a few areas where you might add some new paint to. We've got a screw hole right here that's been pulled out, and you can see we've got some caulking in there. This one needs a little bit touch more, but that caulking is going to prevent any moisture intrusion. That is good. That's good maintenance. Now down here on this bottom edge, this is just some metal flashing that was added, and they've kind of camouflaged the flashing a little bit over here on this side with just a little vinyl tape strip. And their plans were to finish that, and along with the engine and generator, but their plans have changed a little bit, and they're moved on to their next one. So, but that flashing was there to prevent moisture intrusion from working its way in that hull of the deck joint. And that's one area you see where that caulking's done pretty heavily down there. And it appears that they've done a decent job. There's not been any recent signs of moisture intrusion, and everything appears to be fairly solid. There was some repair work done to this, dating back to about 2021 and a few years earlier. When they recoated this roof, they took that coating all the way up on this wall. This is a very common area for moisture intrusion on these models with the step down roof. They've done a really nice job sealing that up around here on this side, and also going basically making that transition from the wall down to the floor there. They've done a nice job at that. That all feels nice and solid. So this area on both sides had some repairs done to it from the interior. This is all feeling nice and solid right now. And there's a few areas around these windows that need to be touched up with caulking. Now, the good thing about the catwalk models, which is the walkway that goes around the exterior edge, is that with the catwalk models, you get a little bit of an overhang. And that does help protect your windows. These are not quite as susceptible to moisture intrusion as your wide body models, because your wide bodies, you're not going to have any overhang whatsoever over those windows. In the catwalk models, you get a little bit, even back here on the back. you've got a few inches there, and you'd be surprised how what difference that makes, and it kind of helps keep that rainwater from really following those edges of those windows and starting to get in through your walls. So this is an area that's been sealed up pretty well. That likely would have been maybe an old gas line or a propane line for either a propane fridge or a oven and range. And I think it was on the other side. There was a few areas to show you over here. A little bit of caulking needs to be added to that. That's just a through hole for those cables. And again, we've got that flashing over here on this side. Just needs to have that little vinyl tape added as well. That kind of hide that little transition for you. So again, this area was worked on nice and solid now. Got a little mark there. It could use some caulking in there, and this little strip right here needs to be kind of tacked up. So, but all in all, it's in good shape, especially given the age. A few little marks like this around the exterior. You're gonna see some of that on these older boats, and we've got some old, something was probably mounted here at one time through the years, and this has all been sealed up, but you want to keep an eye on those things and make sure you caulk those when necessary. That one could probably use some. Either caulk them or repaint them. So again, slip is transferable. This one could stay right here, with the exception of a little bit of mechanical work left. This is a fairly move-in ready houseboat. And that's going to wrap things up for us here today. Again, this is the 1977 Sumerset 14x58 aluminum hull houseboat for sale here on Norris Lake, Tennessee. I thank you again for joining us, and again, please use that link down in the video description to get to our listing page, and that's going to have the full list of specifications and features. Anytime you see anything on the website written that maybe is in conflict with something we stated in the video tour, just know that the written specs on the website is going to be accurate, and if there's any discrepancies, trust what's on the website. If we misstate something in our video tours, that is done unintentionally. So do go by the specs that you see on the website, and also the holding tank sizes. You can verify that with what's in the printable PDF spec sheet that'll be posted at the website. But again, that video description link is there for your convenience to get you right to this listing page. And feel free to reach out to us with any questions by text, by phone, or by email, whatever is most convenient for you. And then as this video concludes, you're going to see two things pop up on your screen. The video top left-hand corner is going to be a link to our current listings playlist on our YouTube channel. If you're trying to just look at the videos of listings that we currently have, that's your shortcut. It's going to get you right to that playlist. There's two playlists on our YouTube channel. One is for sold boat listings, and one is for our active current listings that are still available. The other link in the top right hand corner is just a shortcut to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, that's a great way to get notified anytime a new listing post. You'll get notified by Google once a new video is available, if you've clicked that link and subscribed to us. So again, that's going to do it for this one today. This is the 1977 Sumerset 14x58 aluminum hull houseboat for sale here again on the beautiful freshwaters of Norris Lake, Tennessee. And I thank you again for joining us.